All right, you guys, welcome to another live stream. We have the day of trouble in America, a warning from the future. Now, today, my brothers and sisters, we are all tired of this game plan. You know, America will just have to do justice by us or just let us go. I said, America is in trouble. And I said, God is about to wipe this nation from the face of this earth. Now, listen. I'm not crazy and I'm not drunk. But how long do you think that America that can do evil and not face the judgment and wrath of God? You see, they asked me this morning about the president, morality. Well, how do you feel about the president? That's more. Well, I said, what kind of president that we ever had that was more? I said the founding fathers of this nation were slaveholders. You know, they raped black women and gave them babies, but never of their own children. You know, when they framed the Constitution, there was never thinking of sex as a high crime and misdemeanor. The president disgraced the Oval Office of what he did with Monica Lewinsky. I said murder, my brothers and sisters, was found in this Oval Office. The killing of kings and rulers. You see, their nations and their governments was heads and outlaws and masters of assassinators. So when has this overall office ever been a moral place? So now, if my words frighten you, then wait till I finish. You see, many of us today play with God. You know, we want God to be all loving and merciful. And yes, he loves us, all right, but he kills people out for that very same love. And I'm going to say it again, because you can put Hitler, Genghis Khan, Tabla Khan, Tamerlane, and you can put Vladimir Putin. But notice that they never killed as many people as God. But God kills and destroys people out of his love for righteousness. And he hates us when we refuse to bow down and submit ourselves for his mercy before it's too late. Now, how many of us had some good parents. You had a good mother, a good father. Warn somebody in the community. Warn a loved one. And says, hey now, look, you're doing wrong. Now please change from your behavior. And then all of a sudden, you get a notice in the mail that they was dead. At least you can say, I tried all that I can. And the reason, brother sing you that very sad song, because he done all that he can to warn you that death has now entered into America. Oh, my brothers and sisters, get a grip. Now, what do you think this rain is? Now, what do you think these winds is? And what do you think the unusual rain and unusual snow, the violent winds, the pestilence? You see, famine is here, and more famine is on its way. And Mickey D's, my brothers and sisters, won't be able to give your children a happy meal. And the Bible says you will look at your own fat children. Very strange. Now, I want to talk to you about Trump. Because Trump threatened 50% on tariffs on the UK and 25% penalty on Apple. As his trade wars intensified, President Donald Trump on Friday threatens a 50% tax on all imports from the European Union, as well a 25% tariffs on Apple product unless iPhones are made in America. The threat delivers over social media affect Trump's ability to disrupt the global economy with a burst of typing, as well as the reality that his tariffs are not producing the significant trade deals he is seeking or the return of domestic manufacturing he promised voters. The Republican president says he wants to charge higher import taxes on goods from the EU, a long-standing U.S. ally from China, a geopolitical rival that have its tariffs cut to 30% this month. So Washington and Beijing could hold negotiation. Trump was upset by the lack of progress in trades talk with the EU, which have insisted on cutting tariffs to zero, even as the president had publicly insisted on preserving a baseline 10% tax on most imports. Our discussion with them are going nowhere. Trump posts on True Social. Therefore, I am recommending a straight 50% tariffs on the European Union starting on June 1st, 2025. Black American embrace for the impact of Trump tariffs. Black farmers face historical challenges in accessing capital and land ownerships. Trump tariffs criticized by farm groups threaten farmers' competitiveness. Race neutral programs passed after lawsuits against Biden debit relief initiative. Black farmers' share of the U.S. farms has drastically declined over the past centuries. Trump tariffs can negatively impact black owners, salons, and beauty supply stores by increasing the cost of important goods like hair, extensions, colorings, products, and other supplies. This can lead to higher price for customers, potentially reducing demands and hurting businesses. Black owned salons and stores may struggle to compete with large retailers if they are unable to pass on prices increases to customers or find alternative suppliers. Trump tariffs on important goods, include those from China and other countries, have raised the prices of products used in black owned salons and beauty supply stores. This includes hair extensions, coloring products, and other supplies that are often sourced globally. As businesses are served the increased costs, they may be forced to raise their prices for customers, potentially making services and products less affordable. Now, this Trump had no deals been made, even when he took his trip to the UK. He had no desire to go see Israel regarding the ceasefire agreement. This is a man that raised havoc in the Middle East. And he says that I will make America great again. But I want to say the days of trouble has now come. So the days of this trouble has now come to us from Almighty God, the God who is the real owner of the heavens and earth. Allah God created for himself the heaven, and then he let it out to a forging right race for them to enjoy themselves in it for a while. They have proved unworthy of such glorious creations. And now the God who is the owner of this heaven and earth is ready to take over and rule it for himself. Never no more will the earth nor the heavens or the earth be let out to non-owners. It is a great wisdom taught to us in letting new creatures, right race, try their knowledge of mastering that which there was not made to master, which we knew when we made them, that they will not be able to master the original creation for long. For as long as we, the black people, are the planet, there is no new creatures that can be put in order for ruling that which we already have, and we are in it. It is such a wise piece of work that have been done. The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the original. But this creation is just. There is no comparison anywhere to me. There is no such thing that the original can put the planet aside out of the hole and let someone else take over. This race, the right race, has not been successful in ruling according to their will and according to a real owner. For the right race have to use the original materials that he himself has created. There is nothing of which the white man can call himself the creator. So therefore, since the white man continued to make trouble, which by nature he was made to do, we do not see any way out of trying to live with the white man in peace. The nature of the white man is to ever cause an unrest amongst himself and amongst us too. The white man just cannot make peace for himself because of his nature. Today, God has decided that we, the black people, cannot get along with the white man in peace, and that the white man must be removed. See, the white race wants to remove us, the black people, but in order for the white man to remove us, the black man, he will have to remove the whole entire heaven and make the heaven abode anything like life. And then from abode, we have to just start all over again and create life. For the life and universe is life that we, the black people, have established it. Therefore, to get away from our own life, which was created by the black man so that a new life could come in, we will have to rid the space of life which belonged to us, the black man. And when the space was rid of life that we, the black people, have created, another one will have to create life of his own making. We, the poor black people in America, must be changed into a new and different people altogether. So Allah God came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. Taught me, but not a complete make of us. See, we will be renewed from what we are in now. We call it a new thing. There will come a new day when we, the black people, will have a complete new thing from man and earth and heaven above us. But according to the scientists, God will cause this to go into a new thing, not in complete destruction of the old, where there is no root to grow something from, not at this time. The thing that Allah God would like to do now and will do is to destroy the work of the devil, as the devil would like to destroy God's work, which God has created. The devil cannot destroy God's creation because the devil has no part in the creation of that first creation. Since the devil has no part in the first creation, this makes the devil unable to lay hold to the power that will destroy the first work of God. The main thing which I keep mentioning enough to make you discuss something for the black man in America who has spent his life long and sleeping in ignorancy of the knowledge of that which he is in. But as soon as the black man can awaken to the knowledge of this that he is in, then he can lay hold to that which he did not have knowledge of, which is that the black man is the creator of the first creation. Allah God wants to put the black man back into power. And the way the black man can be put back into power again is Allah has to make the black man all over again, the master power, after giving the black man the authority. Look at the poor, once peaceful black man in America. Look how he strives to reach for himself. He is now making a fast progress in that which God leave for him to understand. The black man conversation has changed. See, the black man way of thinking has changed. His actual physical form has changed. It's a great thing to have come to this black man in America. The black man in America is getting happier and happier. It's not hard for the black man in America to get rich, but he's getting rich from his own wisdom. See, no one has given him anything. As the Bible teach you of the Son, no one gave into him, but he's getting rich so fast that God has chosen the Son to become the head of the house that he has to stray away from. The future of the black man is so beautiful that we can hardly comprehend it. The biggest things that stand before us is qualification and readiness. Let us get qualified to master the house that God has given to us before someone tries to rob us of that mastering of the house. If they rob us of the master in the house, I'm sorry for us. I said to you, black brothers and black sisters, do not be foolish. The kingdom of heaven will be given to you and to me. Have patience to receive it. But to get the house into our service is like a mother giving birth to a baby. The baby must mature in that which he is in, as the baby mature in the womb of the mother in order to be born. So the black man must mature to be born into a new world that the black man must build himself. These are the days of trouble. With the end of the rule of the white race over the black people of the earth in sight, face to face, we have to deal with each other according to the actual facts, which exists between two nations, black and white, with the nature and desire of the white race to continue their rule and suggestion of the darker people, even though the white man recognized the facts, to continue to hold into his rule, his suggestion, his thinking of what he has inquired under such rule, that which is his. He cannot give up the prey, his concession, the merchandise which he has spoiled out from under the nose and eyes of the real owners, black men. He is willing to shed the blood of his own people and that of others to hold into that which he called his legal possessions. The spirit rose and the black man says no, that the continent and what is on and under its surface belong to him and his people, black nation. The spirit and knowledge is now not only confined to Africa and Asia, the black, brown, and yellow people, but it actually is now arising in American so-called the true lost and found brothers of the black man throughout the earth. Whether it be Africa or Asia, he is the brothers of them all. It is desire of the right race to continue to hold power and authorities over black Africa, whether it is or elsewhere. It would just have to give it up. See, England, Germany, and Italy, and France, especially England, France, and Stelliton, Germany, seem to be diehards. See, the white man will be acting wisely. They will realize that one day, sooner or later, they must pack up and leave. Wherefore, I quote, the Bible prophesies concerning the separations of nations. Again today, as it was before. Every man must go to his own. This is the clearest and most direct justice that God and man could agree upon. The white man cannot live in luxury unless he has the black man in his place of possession, in suggestion to his will. But as I repeatedly said in this paper and all of my writings, see, you cannot make God and his prophets liars, nor can we revert the time of the prediction in which these things would take place. So the time have come. This is nothing but justice, that we have possession of what is our own. The white man is conscious of the fact that he had deceived the black man of the knowledge of the black man and his possessions. But that particular authority was given divinely temporarily. But by the same divinity, it is now being taken from the white race. The white race is facing doom because she will not act according to justice and righteousness, which was not by nature put in her. But this is known, and her race is frightened concerning her future, as we see here in America. The white man recognized his coming doom, and many of them would rather die here than go elsewhere outside of America. They try to defend what they call their own independence, sovereignty. Some have poured gasoline over themselves and committed suicide by setting themselves on fire. This is very new and open act of a people who want every other people, black, brown, yellow, and red on earth, to fight their wars, say their independence. A ruthless and brutal people like America, England, and Germany should be ashamed in this modern time to look for these people when they have robbed it, killed it, murdered it, and brought under suggestion by force. To think that today they should be so soundly asleep that they ignore the time and authority that they can unite as the Europeans have been doing against black Africa and brown and yellow Asia. As the book says to the right race, as thou hast done, so shall be done to you. Someone is going to take away your joyful independence. The white man must return to Europe and concentrate on that continent for his future, or else concentrate on his death instead of his life, for they can no longer rule the black man. The black man now knows where his home is. He's now rising up to take possession of that which he called his own. So now we see the black man is taking possession of that which is his, which you can call your own. So Allah, in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, for finding an office to sit us in heaven at once, our submission to him entirely. We fear the doom of America that is now cutting her to pieces. The prophecy teaches us that her doom will come in one day. Death, mourning came in one day. One day means 1 year. Even after that, she should be burned with fire. Divine prophecy is that America will suffer isolation from the nation of the earth. Revelation of John, the Bible prophecy of America doom. America is spoken of under the savage names of a beast, dragon who opposes the messenger of God and all those who seeks to follow him. Beast, dragon are the name used to represent America because of their nature and their characteristics of these people, evil and haters of his black one slaves. The beast, dragon, trolls women seeking to destroy the messengers and his followers, the new convert. The messenger of Allah is referred to as the woman with a newborn baby. The victorious beast, like enemy, trails her, the messenger of God, everywhere that he goes. The beast does this to prevent the messengers and his followers from making progress and making friends with his own black people, who will help the messengers to convert and unite his black people, not only the United States of America, but the whole world of the black nation, to unite and fly out of our enemies who seeks to destroy and kill you and me night and day. Does not just mean leaving America, but it means also to lead the ideologically all that America represents. And the nation Europe and Asia stood far away off for fear of a burning USA, for fear of a divine pledge. To you, my black people, the end is now. Who said that you were going any place? You see, heaven and hell are both a condition of life. They are not places. The devil make hell for you. God in the person of Master Fala Muhammad, whom praise are due forever, make heaven for you and me. We see the ultimate aim of this world should be known to everyone, especially the righteous. We are classified the righteous as being the people who belong to the right God, the God of righteousness, truth, freedom, justice, and equality of the nation of righteousness. Today, the so-called American Negro must be resurrected and made to know, understand the fate of anyone who will follow or be deceived by the arch deceivers. So the Negro must be resurrected. Now, the resurrection, brothers and sisters, is not talking about what your pastors is saying in your church. It's not talking about people who will rise from the dead when they're coughing. You see, you got to understand and practicing reading the resurrection. The resurrection means that we, as a black people in America, will rise from a mental death. A mental death is what you've been mental on. See, the devil has been biting you so many times. You've been bitten so many times by the snake that it took God to remove the venom. So the practicing reading this resurrection means that we will rise from a mental death, from a physical death. So you got to realize who God is and name the devil the beast that he is. Like Joseph was once a slave in a land where once you were a slave. So the so-called American Negro must be resurrected and made to know, understand the fate of anyone who will follow, be deceived by the arch deceivers. Practicing reading the resurrection that we will rise from a mental death, Not what the pastors are saying, that people will get up and walk about from the coffin. That's so much nonsense. But practicing reading this resurrection that we will rise from a mental death, from a mental stage, that we've been blind, deaf, and dumb by the arch deceivers. So now the strongest and most powerful weapons the arch deceiver have at the disposal is to deceive the world of righteousness, the nation of Islam. They do not stop at the common ignorant Muslims, but reach also for the scholars and scientists of Islam, who should be aware of their trickery and their deceits. We are in a world, my brothers and sisters, that is passing out of existence. She is putting up a fight war to destroy the nation of righteousness. Be aware to try to oppose success of Allah's truth only hasten their doom of falsehood and its teachers. See, the world evil makes its first attack on the world of righteousness, thereby clearly showing herself as being an enemy of righteousness. When she thinks that she has built up a strong enough force to attack the righteous, she does so, which I have said before, has it, her own doing. See, falsehood cannot be victorious over the truth, and the days of truth. The resurrection is the day of truth. See, the resurrection is the day of truth as it trumpet over falsehood. The arch deceiver forced war against himself. See, this ultimate aim is to do as the people always have done, to try to destroy the preachers of truth and those who believe and follow him. This was the aim of Cain when he slayed his brother, Abel, and the aim of the dragon when he sought to destroy the woman, the messenger, as it is written, Revelations 12, verse 4. The law found members of that nation should be taught to know the ultimate aim of this world. So God hath visited them and hath prepared a teacher in myself to teach them, thereby making it easy for them to understand and recognize this world and secret and ultimate aim. It is even given in the Bible, Revelations 12:9. There it speaks, we see, of the members belonging to the righteous nation, and showed that through deceits, Satan caused them to become as himself against this truth, peace, justice, safety, security. One would enjoy it if he only were not deceived in. Under deceits, we see the weak-minded who have no understanding or knowledge of the arch deceivers. The devil, Satan, are made prey in the hands of the arch deceivers. This will bring about war as a showdown between the God of righteousness and the God of unrighteousness, the devil that already had begun. God must fulfill his promise to show himself as God over all the power of heaven and earth, and man earth, as it is written, we see Thessalonians chapter 2:9. Come after working Satan. Satan had been given the power, knowledge, and authority to deceive as many as he could before the appearance of God, or the universal manifestations of the presence of God. He was given this power in the beginning, according to chapter 2 and 7 of the Holy Quran, and according to the Bible, Genesis 1:26, Revelation 6:4 and 8, and Revelation 12:3 and 4. We have known all our life that the devil was a great deceiver, enemy of God, and that he wished to be the victors with his knowledge of superior art and deceiving the people of God. He desired to cast them down, disgrace them, and make them accept his deceits before the very face of God and the general resurrection of the dead. The so-called American Negro, as I repeatedly taught in my article, sermon, and lecture to my people, are spiritually dead. They have been touched and paralyzed to death by the arch deceiver through his missionary teaching, his literature, his personal conversation, and by accepting his advice. God has given to me a very strong and available truth that will defend and protect and prevent you from falling victims to the arch deceiver. Weed these and treasure them. They are your life. Ignore them. It is your death. Now they coming with this Project Blue Beam. See, the Antichrist is here, y'all. They put it all in your face. See, that's why God has sent a powerful delusion so that you will believe all the lies you heard. See, if I'm telling you they coming to slaughter us, and see, why are they signing these executive orders? Trump is giving the proof because they want to stop all public assistance, Medi-Cal, Social Security, and I say they coming to slaughter us, brothers and sisters. You got these tariff wars that's happening in the black communities. Trump is putting tariff wars globally. So what's going on? Because we see the days of trouble that has now come. We must not forget how we are warned by prophecies for 100 years and for 1,000 years that the end must come to his world. The ruler of this world must be removed, and the crown must be taken off and placed upon another head, and the rule and justice and righteousness. The people of this world have now become so wicked and so fearful of the consequences of their own rule until the almost thoughtless vision is gone and the fearfulness have taken hold of the people. The heads are going to and fro to the nation of the earth to find a way of peace between the heads of the nation. And they can't find a way of peace, brothers. Trump cannot find peace because none of these foreign countries want to do no deals with America. I tell you guys, all her trades is cut off in a single hour, in a single year, in a single day. All of her trades is cut off. Now, China don't even want to do nothing with her. China said, won't you buy some of our trades now? And Trump, why is he trying to feel that he can bring these tariffs? Now let me tell you about these sanctions that's happening in Russia. Russia, although the sanctions over there is causing a breakdown on Russia economy, but now Russia is threatening the U.S. And see, this is why I say this, that when President Zelensky says, y'all have nice oceans and water. So now, Vladimir Putin wants to use nuclear warheads to set off a tsunami. Y'all not hearing me. Vladimir Putin wants to use these nuclear warheads that they've been planning to set off a tsunami. Y'all not hearing me. Because these sanctions and these tariff wars that Trump is putting on is impacting the UK, United States, and is putting effect in the black communities globally. So you see, their heads is going to and fro to the nation of the earth to find a way of peace between the heads of the nation. We see a great time, a troublesome time, a terrible time, brothers. See, the hearts of the people all begin to weaken and to fail because of what is going on or what they see is coming. American people have lived so rich and so joyfully in wickedness. You see murder, robbery, hatred of one another, until they have hardened their hearts so much that they make to think that they can make friends and live on with those upon whom they have no mercy. They crush all the weak nations of the earth with their powers and brought them to the clutches of slavery. They forced other nations to bow. They pushed the borders around the earth as the king did in a day and time. But in those days, the king boasts this thing over. We see England made that same boast. England used to boast that the sun did not set on her empire. Take a look at England today. There is no British empire for the sun and the moon to set on. This morning, May 30, 1972, the radio news announcer said that they found mines in the Chicago River. Just make it all together more frightening. If a mine should blow a ship up in the city limits, it would be dangerous to the life of the people. Just think over this. The Chicago runs through the downtown sections of Chicago, Illinois. No one wants to frighten the people more. but the frightening of the people sometimes does good. We see these great days, we see these terrible days. People are just being shot down on the streets, right in their homes, or while walking the streets. They are blown down as though their life are nothing. The great days, the terrible days. The police and FBI are all here, while this gruesome, savage acts are committed right between their eyes and ears. See, American people have been here, according to history, since a few years after Columbus, the explorer. She conquered the Red Indians, the original owners of the land, who she found here, and took it for a home for herself and kind. She had continued conquering until her conquering powers had gone around the earth, affecting every civilized nation's submission to her will. She was successful in forcing other people to bow to her will, whether they like it or not. Now it is the hands of God which is after America, to force her to submission, a hand from which we had no defense, as it is written and prophesied in the Bible under the name of Babylon. Jeremiah 51:25, behold, I'm against you, O destroying mountain, said the Lord, which destroy all the earth. I'll stretch out my hands upon you and roll you down from the rock, and will make you a burned mountain. Jeremiah 51:53, though Babylon shall mount up to heaven, and though she shall fortify the heights of her strength, yet from me shall spoils come into her, said the Lord. See, America is under destruction similar to that of ancient Babylon. In the Bible, Jeremiah, Isaiah, and Revelation of John prophesies concerning her. Babylon they're mentioned is a future Babylon, and not Babylon of the past. America have enslaved all of the so-called Negro, and her evil treatment of them is similar to ancient Babylon enslavement and mistreatment of the Jews according to the scripture. It took the hands of God to bring the kings of Babylon and his people to submission to the power of God. He brought the surrounding kings and their power against ancient Babylon and the prime, the heights of her glory, the handwritings on the walls, the casting of Daniel, and his followers into the furious furnace, making drunk the people of God with their strong wine, and then mocking them. So has America done to the so-called Negro. America makes them drunk with wine and whiskey, beer, and then laugh at him. She put him into the furious furnace, burned him at the stake, while sitting around with her families, drinking intoxicant drinks, laughing at the burning flesh of God's people. This is what Moloch did back in the 400 slavery time. They used to kill children, hung them up on a billboard, where they sit in the south in the forest, laughing at God's people after they burn half of our people. This is going on in the south. Go see it for yourself. See, there is no justice whatsoever, as Revelation gives it. You see, she make all the world drink of the wine of her fornication. But the end is coming to such evil doing. America had lived in peace so far as you see as forging war is concerned. She had destroyed other people and their towns and cities. She had leveled them to the ground. She still prepared to do the same with her great stockpiles. She says she have enough bombs and destructive weapons to destroy all human beings on the face of the earth 3 times. Still has some left. See, of this she boasts. By Allah, God has said to me that he will destroy America and bring her into her knees in humiliation. The destruction sent to ancient Babylon, recorded in the Bible, is the answer to most of what he has said to me will come upon the now rich America. See, rain, hail, snow, earthquakes, fire, these weapons all belong to God. America, how do you fight an army like this? Before weapons mentioned of Allah, God cannot be ignored. The whole year had been a year thou far of Allah God, pleasure in America, day and night, with storms we see, rain, flood, killing, destroying properties. And now the coming winter, hell had been falling in some place the size of golf balls, baseballs, and footballs. The rain continued to fall in places, and a dreadful snow blizzard is now in the working. A cold wind is blowing in the north, come against America, as it is written in Prophecies we see, Job 38:22 and 23. Have you entered into the treasures of the snow? Or have you seen the treasures of the hell which I have reserved against the time of trouble, against the days of battle and war? Earthquakes are now again to be recognized touching America lightly. These earthquakes are here. You are feeling the ground shaking under your feet. Now let me tell you, we in a corona mass ejection. See, I want to talk about this folding up a record that soon must come. See, the scholars and scientists know that something will approach Earth, and it can come no sooner when they least expect it. And see, I want to talk about, because this refers to Central America, her satellites. See, when this electric grid go out, brothers and sisters, there will be darkness on the face of this earth. The moon will burst as though revelation is revealed. The sun will heat up to the highest radiation and protons, and you got will throw a high perplexity. That the atmosphere of the earth will act as though a revelation is given. So I want to say earthquakes are now again to be recognized, touching America lightly. But nevertheless, they are here. With all of her wealth, brothers and sisters, in preaching of this Christianity, she has not been a good Christian herself. As Jeremiah said, arise, get you up into this wealthy nation that dwelt without care, said the Lord, which has neither gates nor bars, which dwell alone. See, this corresponds to America. She lives situated between the two greatest bodies of the water of the earth, the Atlantic and the Pacific. She is very careless. She rejoices in her evil and filth as though she is self-protected from the divine hands of God. Jeremiah 50:31 prophesied, behold, I'm against you, most proud, said the Lord God of hosts. Your days has come. It's time that I visit you. Allah God visit America with great destruction, which he has to pour upon the wicked of America. After their mistreatment of the so-called Negro for 400 years, she desires now to deceive them, to cause them to suffer with her, to share her doom. Jeremiah 50:6, my people have been lost sheep. The shepherd has caused them to go astray. The white and black preachers of Christianity have turned them away on the mountain. They have turned them away on the mountain to hills. See, they have forgotten their resting place, their native people, and their country. Jeremiah 50:7. All that found them had devoured them. And their adversary says, we fear not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. Since the white man had made the so-called Negro as wicked, a person asked himself, these are the words that he speaks. They are just as evil as we. Therefore, Allah guides against them too. So the so-called Negro repeat the same and says the white man is no worse than the so-called Negro. The white man had opened all of his doors of avenue and temptation to lure the Negro in for total destruction. Again, we have a warning to lead a people with whom God is angry, as the people of ancient Babylon was warned to do. Jeremiah 51 and 55, my people go out of the midst of her, and deliver every man his soul from the furious anger of the Lord. All of the pledge and destruction and judgment which Allah God used to destroy the wicked and disobedient from the time of Adam until this day will be brought upon America. Then she will be burned with fire. This is the time of trouble that shall bring America into insanity. America, especially North America, have entered into a time that was predicted by Moses, we see, the prophet between him and Jesus. In this 24th chapter of Matthew, there's a prophecy made by Jesus at the present time of America without mentioning her name. It refers to the country as the world because this part of the earth is referred to in many places by the prophet and by Jesus himself as a wilderness. The name America is not yet 500 years old, so the prophet refers to it as a wilderness and a prophecy. It is terrific. I use the word terrible because it's not a thing that can be strived as something out or something that is moving slowly, nor something that can be recognized so easily by the common people. It is clear to all who can see that America has reached the stage about which she has always been warned. She always had wanted to keep it a secret because of her so-called Negro slaves. She never desired for the slave to know too much of what was in store for her because of enslavement, mistreating her slaves. She had reared them for the past 400 years, and she knows them. And she knows how they think and how they react to her teachings. And she knows to fear her. And she knows the slave, but the slave do not know America, their slave masters. The great, dreadful, and awful day's doom is now on the doors and windows of America. And the church, the religion of America. As long as Christianity works, America thought she was safe because it is one of the most deceiving and upright misleading religions of the world. Allah God taught me that carefully examine everything in the religion of Christianity is designed to make slaves out of black people. If Christianity was a rat rag and wrung out every drop of right, slavery for the black man. See, the world knows this now, but the spiritually blind, deaf, dumb, American so-called Negro, to whom I'm calling and appealing to reason. I'm calling them to reason with me on the truth and their own starvation that is now in truth of self and kind, or the enemy of self. The world knows this now, but the spiritually blind, deaf, dumb American so-called Negro, to whom I'm calling and appealing to reason. I'm calling them to reason with me on the truth and their own starvation that is now in truth of self and kind, or the enemy of self. There will not be an end to the court cases between black and white America and throughout the world until wrong, evil, murdering, deceiving, robbing the poor black man of the earth is destroyed and righteousness and justice is practiced. Brothers and sisters, I want you to know you can't live your life in America if the devil is trying to take your future from you. You can't live a normal life in America if the devil trying to take your future from you. If he's sending you hard tasks, you gotta understand, brothers and sisters, what these tariffs is, what it's causing. It's causing a historical global change, brothers. They are tightening the food chain, brothers. Grocery stores, cost of food finna be high. Cost of living, brothers. They're bringing it right in the black communities, brothers. So how can you live a normal, decent life if this devil trying to take your future from you? See, the devil time has come, brothers, because he knows his time is short. But he must reign for a little time. And they send us this hard task on us, brothers, to keep us right back in poverty walk. He wants you to beg. And the only thing you good for is a damn job. That's the only thing you good for. In order for them to save capitalism. And see, they took out immigration because they make up the population and the workforce. Now you gotta work on a minimum wage. You don't work. You don't eat. You don't work. How are you gonna provide? How is it gonna be ever possible for us to work under minimum wage? Some of us today will have to save paycheck to paycheck. You have to save them 4 or 5 checks just to pay rent. That's not a decent living, brothers and sisters. He's doing this all over again because this time is short, brothers. And America can never become great unless she do one basic principle, giving us our restitution. Give us our 48 acres. Give us a couple of these, states that we well deserve. Come on and talk to me. Because this is the day of God Almighty to set up justice and equality throughout the earth. He is to free this black man, the American so-called nigger, from his deceitful, evil, and murderous enemies. America wishes to oppose Allah God in his work of bringing justice and freedom to our one slave. But this is just what Allah God wants. Allah wants America to attack him to get the fight started, to bring his judgment against her with the fullness of his strength and powers. America is bringing about the political gloom. Here, the politicians are unable to carve out a future for America. The plan of deceiving the so-called politicians to work against their own freedom, justice, and equality, starvation. The Allah God has brought to them is making the so-called Negro and high office become the enemy of his own people, freedom, justice, and equality. Such office are held out as a bribe to get black politicians to work against the spread of the truth or their starvation. They are happy and the boss know that they are. They have a place near him in such office just for the purpose of trying to oppose Allah and his messengers and freeing the poor black man who is in the mud. This is causing political confusion and complete destruction of a house divided against itself. I'm asking in the name of Allah that the American governments agree on the separation of a one slave and their masters. Of course, Allah God is significant. We want a home on this earth. We can call home. We do not want to be slave anymore to white people. We do not want to be free Uncle Tom for white people. We do not want to be sissy pies, white man bootlickers. We want to do something for self and go for self. However, America with her blind, deaf, dumb politician class, or the so-called will bring a strict destruction upon their heads. along with the doom that is available against the enemies. It is not 20 years in the future, nor 15 years. Let no one deceive you. It is here at our doors now. The dreadful plagues and confusion of America are beginning to boil. The few making it boil will not crease until it boils down to the last of the dread. So let it not be 20 years, 15 years. You don't have long to decide, prepare. The fall is within a few days. I'm talking about next 2 years. You ain't seen nothing yet. See, in Ezekiel 26:18, people will be terrified because look at her coastlands. God's going to push the people into the center. And you might say, well, what you mean God's going to push the people into the center? He's going to curtain America from his sides. And he's going to push the people right in front of the center. You know what I mean? People are going to be terrified because all the coastlands will be destroyed, demolished. And then the people are going to realize that it's God bringing their country to a nothing. See, the present promise of a better future that America is making to so-called will prove to be false. And let me tell you, when she don't have a future for herself, what make you think you're going to have a future? You'll have to get to a point to depart from her. Because look, brothers and sisters, they're going to have to eventually pack up and concentrate on that continent over there in Europe, or else concentrate on their death instead of their life. They can no longer rule the black man. So I want to say, eat, America. Help yourself to the desert of the earth, which you have prepared for us. You see, you eat it now. You see, all praise are due to God, the Lord of the world. You see, the present promise of a better future that America is making to the so-called Negro will prove to be false. And all of her false promise to the American so-called Negro will be short lives now by both, because the time of her doom has approached. America will have to do a marvelous thing of justice, a square deal to turn it back. A fascinating show attempting a Negro to filth, and evil will not work. To take justice to work, to postpone the dreadful days of America. America lost a war. See, friendship is speeding her doom because no one wants to sit with her. I said, all her trades is cut off now, right here in the Western Hemisphere. In a single day, single hour, and single year, all of her delicious, delicate splendors is all gone, brothers and sisters. And that one day, 1 hour came to pass. Look how they treat Israel. You see, America posited Israel on fortune soil, the Palestinians' land. See, Trump went over to the Middle East to try to shake things up. They looked at him as a fool. They didn't respect him going over there. He come back empty-handed. Why do you think he's signing more of these executive orders, these tariffs? He can't have his way. And since he can't have his way, he want to put tariffs on everything. You see, this is why the judgment is here. And it will not be ignored. Every eye will see, and every ear will hear. Now we have the deluge before this storm. See, I'm afraid for you that you receive what the people before you did receive. Allah, God is very angry with America and the trichology that she has used on the dead to keep them dead. So you are very disappointed to Allah, God, the original black people who know himself, the very few, of course. The false show of a glorious future that the wicked is putting on is at hand. We must remember Daniel's prophecy that the end of the war, desolation are determined. But before this happened, Allah God will bless the people with a good time, as he did the people of the past roam themselves, who did not pay attention to the prophet wanted amongst them. Allah God destroyed them. They thought that they were fooling Allah God. But Allah God surprised them. He made the people rejoice for a short time, with a show of great prosperity. And at the height of their great prosperity, suddenly he destroys them. This is the merciful law that Allah has put in nature. Allah God let a dying person rally before the end. See, America is going to do the same. See, America will rally and people will think that she's going to have a great future. And then the end will come in that kind of time. American end will not come while she's going around with her head hanging down, with her heart itching and failing, because the things that are coming on her nation. No, she will be made to enjoy good times. The stock markets are going up, and lots of shares being sold. See, this make every man think that everything's all right. But this is only the delude before the storm. And the Bible warns America of what happened before her. Ancient Babylon enjoyed full position at her time, but King Darius came against her at the time of her full enjoyment of wealth. Drunkenness, laughing at the slave that she had made of Israel. King Darius came with his army and overcame the sleeping guards, sleeping on the security of their life. The Bible prophesies that the enemy would say, "Come, let us go up, destroy her, whose cities is not fenced in." And they may come from afar. They may come at noonday, or they may come at the rising, in the morning, or in the afternoon. But nevertheless, come at a time that you thought not. At the war, into the end of the war, desolation are determined, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. The Bible, Daniel 9:26 and 27. I want you to know that which will be poured means it is the devastation of you, America, if you ever getting back into power again to attack the nations of the earth. Europe will become one of the worst war areas of all the world, more dreadful than Vietnam and other places that you are planning on going into. Asia will look like child's play compared to what is going to happen in Europe. The Bible says, "Whom to the land that's shallow with wings." This means America, whose skies is filled with planes. Most of all of the judgment and trouble which are pointed at in the Bible are pointed at America. Study them for yourself. America right up today, with all of her battles, with her outside enemies, never lose sight of the inside of a poor old black slave. Does not want him to do anything. She wants him to be deceived in. She does not want him to accept his starvation. That a lot of guys often the black one slave here in America. A lot of guys is offering this black one slave heaven at once. This he had proven to everyone that believe in Allah God and follow me. I'm the door. By no means can you get by except you come by me. Prayer will not be heard unless my name is mentioned in them. I'm saying that you cannot get a prayer through Allah God unless you mention me in your prayers. Try it and see it. Satisfied that those who know this will bear me witness. I have the keys to your salvation and I have the keys to your hell. I can if you would just let me pull you out of hell and set you into heaven. Then I can keep you in heaven. Or I can keep pushing you and push you into the punishment of hell till you acknowledge that there is no God but Allah. Came in the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, and that Elijah Muhammad is his servant. There is no escape for you today. Only way is through me is through Allah God. Me first. We cannot get to Allah God without getting to me first. Delude before the storm. America is trying with all of her might to hinder you from getting into heaven. America make promises to you. She make promises to me, but she does not intend to fulfill them. Some of America financial people promise to loan us millions of dollars. But when the time comes, they vanish. But the day will come when we will be able to do the same things to them. It's entirely up to them to make good this day for themselves and their people by submitting to the truth themselves, as the Bible says. The Gentiles shall come to your light of your rising. America wants to destroy God and me. She wants to destroy you by deceiving you against following me. America lift up all my hypocrites and advise you to follow them, while she knows that you will be the losers. Look what she had done for Malcolm. America named universities after him in order for you to follow Malcolm. See, Malcolm turned from Allah, God, and me and started to follow them. America will lift up any one of you that will disobey Allah, God, and myself and come to them. You see how they are doing. Everyone that's a hypocrite to Allah, God, and me. America raised him up for you to fall. America will glorify his name. Malcolm was no lover of white people when he lies to them in order to get a chance to fight me. But you is not a lover of them. See, Malcolm was a double cross. He tried to get to me with their help, as it is written and prophesied that he would do. His name is not written there in the name of Malcolm. In the history, another name is used. But his work is there in the history of the hypocrites and the life of Muhammad. He tried to take advantage while Muhammad was sick. So you find this in the writings of Washington Irving, even some scientist writers of Islam. They can tell you Malcolm history. But the enemy fools you. He did not like Malcolm. But with Malcolm working against me, he used Malcolm. They knew that Malcolm had learned the history of me. He was not able to change it. Even if the enemy would glorify them, they would come to an end. The time as ruling power over black people was up. They knew that better than Malcolm did. They set up for worship all hypocrites against me. Suppose we would worship China and Russia against them. But we do not worship them. For Allah, God is most significant, more significant than all of their nations. Allah, God, does not see them as a power and force against him. They are so little and weak in their powers. They cannot fight against Allah, God, and win. The more you fight against Allah, God, the more you will lose yourself. From the Bible and from this chapter, from now on, if you do not know that he is tricking you, making you to follow hypocrites, it is your doom. Just watch it. He trails me. He goes down to Bahamas and everywhere that he thinks that I'm going or where I have been. This is written. I do not fault him for doing what is written of him. Try to do that which is written of me. I do not fault him for what he is made by nature to do, nor should he fault me. For by nature I am. But I fault you, my brothers and sisters, if you let this little transgressor of this life, an enemy, deprive you of a great future for yourself. We can buy hospitals and place to educate and train our people into the superior education of the nation of the earth. But you rather give your money over to white America and let them spend it on what they want to, and they pay you little interest. We offer interest too, the highest of interest, but you do not trust us. So we will build right along without your help. We are going to be the winners. It's prophesied that we who believe will be the winners. And my work that was prophesied of me before I was born. You see it today. Try and find a successful one who is working opposition to me. See, none of you who are trying to aid the devil against me will be successful in doing so. And the devil knows that. He's not trying to do these things himself, only with you. He knows that he will not be successful in stopping my progress. Not him, nor several times his number. As long as I'm with Allah, God is with me. And that will be all the days of my life. The subject of this chapter is taken from the Holy Quran, Surah 87, verse 5. We do not hope for peace as long as we add to the war that which serve as fuel to a fire. The fire cannot go out as long as we keep it burning by adding more fuel. A dying burning fire is increased when more fuel is thrown into it. There are lots of people who are so anxious for peace so that they can return to commit that which they lack in love, idling, sport, and play. The world that we live and desire, first of all, to hide the truth. Keep this black man who is made blind, deaf, and dumb by the scientific trigonometry of the right race, so that the right race can continue to carry on the same deceiving and wickedness that they have been practicing. How can we expect peace when the method used to bring about peace is the same method that started the war? Instead of finding the right solution and then practicing the right solution. I said these things for the sake of my own black people, for they are so ignorant to the knowledge of the truth of the time in which we are living. What they would like to do cannot be done. The time to even continue to do what you are doing is up. We must remember again the prediction of the Bible that have foretold these times if we understand the Bible. It must certainly teach us that there is no peace for the wicked. There is no people who preach such a thing as peace. And as being true followers of the prophet Jesus, as much as the right Christian do. You see, day and night, their airways are full of their preaching. To hear them, you would think that they are the prophet Moses and Aaron. As the word Jesus put it, it sat in Moses' seat. The right Christians are great deceivers. The Pope of Rome cannot bring peace to the Christian church, for he is not enjoying peace himself. So who is that people then that the Bible prophesies of in the book of Isaiah, that he would send peace to them like rivers? Surely cannot be the present Christian right race, for they are the ones who are breaking the peace. Fire fed with fuel, leaving your own home and countries. Go to another man's home and country and make trouble for that people and then accuse that people of being a troublemaker. It is the attacker who is guilty of that which follows the attack. I said to you, black people, you can get away from that old misunderstanding of the time. So you are not living in a time which you may be expected a settlement of the war that will give you what you have always been used to: sport, play, and foolishness. Actually, now it's a time that you and I should be wise enough to understand that we should think for self and do for self. If you do not know how to do for self, you should follow the man to whom Allah God has given that knowledge to teach you how to do for self. With the ocean filled with a fleet of the right Christians, and the sky crowded with their death-dealing planes over other people's territories, could you tell them that they should submit to you for peace? If you are able to force them to their knees or to destroy them, and I say yes. If that was the situation, then I will say that they should submit and let you trumpet. But you cannot force them to their knees. They have been preparing for a war like this for nearly a century. Or what I should say, they have been preparing and working faithfully for half a century to entertain the attacker with the same type of weapons and better weapons and weapons you are attacking them with. If you resort to worse weapons, they have worse weapons also. So we are in a time when arguments to the country of peace is like heaping fuel on a fire. It keeps it burning. We are living in an evil time. I believe, and maybe many hundreds of thousands believe as I do, that the presidents of the United States of America have good intentions towards the citizens of America when he took over the presidency. The times against him, the past 4,000 years or more, Allah God has already given the prophecy to the mouth of his prophets of the doom of the wicked. Now is the time, and we cannot do anything but take it. It is a danger to add fuel to unwanted fire. The fire is the war. Man hearts failing in fear. How true the prophecy of Jesus we see in Luke 21, 25, and 26 concerning the present time. We bear witness that the seas and waves are warring, and that fear is now covering the nation as shown by unusual heart failures that is now occurring amongst man. These are the signs of the end of the present world. The seas and ocean are heaving up tidal waves to a magical height that man has never witnessed before on earth. This is another pledge that's upon the wicked. Since the Holy Quran teaches that the judgment will be such that the earth itself will act, as though a revelation has been revealed to it, because of its perfect obedience to the laws of Allah on that day. Allah will use the power that is in the earth and the sea against the world of evil. The right race thinks that they have control of the power of the earth, sea, and air. It was prophesied that for a time they would subdue and have the use of the power of the sea and ocean until he comes who right it is to rule. The heaven and earth belongs to Allah God. Now it is his time to rule. There is much prophecy concerning the terribleness of the judgment of the wicked. The power that is in the water is in the hands of Allah God to use it against whom he pleases. The earth, wind, rain, snow, and ice, and earthquake are controlled by Allah God. It is a fearful sight to see the displays of his power, with the force of nature, bowing and submitting to his will. I should warn you that this is now coming into action against the Western world. There will be destruction of whole fleets at seas. Those which are capable of lying on the ocean sea bottom will be destroyed. The die is set with a foolish people, who, like in the time of Noah, could not see the sign of the rain, bringing on a flood. Even after the cloud began to darken the sky, they did not see the oncoming rain until it actually started to rain. So it is with America. They pay no attention to the sign of the judgment that is taking place. As the Bible, Revelation 16:9, they blaspheme the name of God, which has power over these pledges. How many America and the city of Chicago disbelieve, even mock, and swear at the name of Allah, who has power over the force of nature, land, sea, and air. Allah God is now doing as is prophesied it. Holy Quran, Surah 13:41, visiting the land, curtain it of its size. The foolish still are foolish, till he is cast to that narrow place, cannot turn to the right or left, as it was with the donkey that Balaam was riding. He came to a narrow place between two walls. Cannot turn around. He had to stop face to face with angels or be destroyed. Numbers 22, 23, and 26. Let it be remembered that Allah God gave forth for redemption, deliver the American black people from their tormentors. Whether we like it or not, we would do this. This is the work of Allah God, which is in effect. Let America use the history of the fall and destruction of ancient Egypt and of Pharaoh. Let the history serve as a warning. They were brought to nothing for the evil done to a people whom Allah God has chosen, for example, of these last days, the law found black slave and their slave masters. The Holy Quran, Surah 3041, is perfectly true in its prediction of a present day nation, sea, and land power. See, corruption has appeared in the land, and see, on account of that which man's hands has made. The most great mistake that the black man is making today is it trying to hold on to the brief and eternities, or that he lived and preached the saving of this white man's world. This is false. Jesus did not preach this. See, the Bible, Jesus had a few disciples. Jesus also cursed the Jews, not to mention that he was trying to save them or the Caucasian people. They are teaching a trick-analogy that the white man used to deceive the black man. They do this so that our people will understand that Jesus declared himself against the world or the Caucasian race. The Bible, he also declared the word of truth had no place in this right race of people. They have proved this to be the truth by the mistreatment of you and me. The right race had never worshipped any prophets before or after this as divine man of Allah God. It's against their very nature to do this. Is why to kill all the prophets that they are able to kill. Deceive the people against believing in the prophets of Allah God, for they was made in their nature to be the enemies of God and his representatives. Before the time is out, they will be forced into submission to the will of Allah God. This will not be done for the purpose of converting the right race. Allah God will force them into submission to prove that he is able to make everything bow to him in submission. This is a fulfillment of the prophecy, the Bible, Isaiah 45:23, and to me, every knee shall bow, every tongue shall swear. The Bible says, Matthew 25:32, before him shall be gathered all nations. The Holy Quran has a similar prophecy that you shall see all nations kneeling before him. This includes everybody, regardless of their color. Everything in the universe obeyed the natural laws in which it was made subject to by Allah God. On the coming of Allah God, it now makes everything bow to him, whether you believe it or disbelieve. Holy Quran Surah, chapter 382, it does not make a difference to him. Whether you are the devil or the righteous, all must bow in submission to the will of Allah God on the judgment day. We are now living in the day of judgment. Black preachers, you will waste your time in leading yourself and those who follow you to hell by holding on to Christianity. Revelation 19:20. You cannot keep them in Christianity. Christianity was not the religion of Jesus, Moses, or any other prophets who came before them. It would have been a fierce on the part of Allah and God to have waited until just 2,000 years ago to give the right religion to the world of man. Allah God gave man the right religion, Islam. In the beginning of his creation of the heavens and earth, Allah God has not changed. His religion is Islam, entire submission to his will. Hell erupts. Why are the nation angry? Who are the nation that are angry at the resurrection of the dead? The 18th verse of the 11th chapter of the Revelation in the Bible plainly teach us that these nations are angry and mad because of the rise of the dead, that God himself was the source of the power behind the resurrection of a rise of a mentally dead people, the black man. It is these slaveholders who have been the real cause of a mental death of the people. The Revelation relates to as being deprived of justice. God come to give them justice and to justify them as being equal to their slave masters as human beings. And as you know, for the 400 years of legal slavery and free slavery of the American so-called Negro, they have never been recognized even as human beings. As one devil says, they are only 3/5 of a human being. It is true that the history of our treatment by the devil's slave master practically made our parents and ourselves less than human beings. This is why I teach that the main right we should seek first are human rights. The American so-called Negro flew in love with his slave masters and his slave master children because the unlike attract them and their brothers in Africa. Therefore, the manifestation, an enemy, the devil, and the resurrection makes the dead to see that which caused them to be mentally dead. And the parable of the donkey who put out upon meeting with the angels, he saw that the burden he had been carried on his back was false. Balaam. So, in the resurrection of a mentally dead soul called Negro, they are rising to acknowledge the self. This knowledge make them mute or refuse to continue to carry the slave master as something to worship. This have angered the slave master as the donkey refused to anger Balaam. See, Balaam set about whooping and beating the donkey to force him as unusual to carry and respect him as his master. This use of force to compel the one slave, the black American, to remain with them, even now, in order to make them members of society, the only false recognition of the black Americans. This lost and now found people of the black nation of Asia and Africa. This continuous cruelty by the white slave master inflicted upon the American so-called Negro have angered God as the cruelty the Egyptian inflicted upon the Israelites during the time of Pharaoh angered Jehovah. This is a repetition of Israel history and of Pharaoh evil, and in these modern times, the appearance of Jehovah and of Moses, the servant of Jehovah, to announce to Pharaoh the end of Israel's slavery. Pharaoh became angry and went to work to try to disrupt and bring to nothing Jehovah's delivery of Israel through his servant Moses. This brought Pharaoh to his end, and he and his army was cast into the Red Sea because they tried to prevent the freeing of Israel by the God Jehovah. The angry nation refers to white America and Europeans who are also enslavers of the black man. Take, for instance, the part that England, Germany, France, and Italy have all played it in enslavement of black Africa and black people throughout Africa and Asia, here in America, North and South America. There is no such thing in the nature of white people as justice and freedom for black people, especially not for blacks in the Western hemisphere. Now their anger is running them mad and they are attacking and killing each other. There is no such thing as peace amongst them, nor can they produce peace for others. The Holy Quran refers to this condition as the kind of hell. Surah 81, verse 12. Never before have you witnessed the evil that is spreading far and wide, every hour of the day in America and Europe. England, America being not the first, but the chief slave makers of black people. It is like the idea of having allowed dispose of their power over the Negro, though they knew this was coming, the loss of their slaves. This is a time of increase of knowledge. God has given the black man of America more light to this increase of divine knowledge, any black elsewhere, because he chose to make for himself a great nation out of the former slave of America. Why America is angry at God for resurrecting the black slave to the knowledge of self and his slave master. This means that they are entering into a war with Almighty God, Allah, and try to oppose the truth of God, preached by the messenger of God. Read the second Psalms. The great commotions. The great commotion of the governments and people of America, the civil unrest, insurrection, mental excitement, and noisy confusion. There is no action that is being taken, nor can there be any action taken that will bring the people into a better condition of civil actions. The white American people have practiced evil and injustice to the man in the mud, the black slave, for so long that they think that there will never be any divine action taken against them for such evil and injustice. But this is what is now effective. It is the action of divine justice of the poor man, black slave. Allah God and the personal Master Muhammad, whom praise are due forever, has the power, and he's using his power on the wicked to bringing them to their knees. Allah God is the greatest, and there is no equal to him. Allah God can take us by our own way of thinking and spin us as though we are a play toy. We cannot fight a successful fight against him. It's too powerful. Listen in on our thinking. It's capable of making us to think and to do that which he desired to be done. The great commotion today is witnessed by the nation of the earth. For it's America whom Allah guides after for mistreatment of the poor so-called lost found original black members of their nation. America mistreat and kill her black slave for sport. But America's days is drawing to a close, and she will not have the freedom to mistreat the black slave much longer. As the mistreatment of Egyptian practice against Israel came to an end, so will the mistreatment of the black slave by white America come to an end. America has so blind and made deaf dumb the black man in America, her black slave, that she will make empty promise to the black slave, and he will accept her false promise, forsake the true promise of Allah God and the person of Master Allah Muhammad, whom praise are due forever, who is here offering us heaven at once. The great commotion will continue in America, because this commotion has destroyed the power of our positions. The title of this chapter is taken from the Holy Quran, Surah 101, 1 through 4. The disaster. What is the disaster? What will make you know how terrible is the disaster. In the English language, according to the Rest Dictionary, the word disaster means a state of deep distress or misery caused by major misfortune or loss, or a great event marked by a great loss and lasting distress and affliction. Such disaster is now prevailing in America. It's getting worse daily. Third verse of this chapter of the Holy Quran, Surah 101, verse 3, asks a question. Will make you know how terrible is the disaster. The answer is given in the fourth verse. Day wherein man will be as scattered as moths. We do not have to ask anyone whether or not this one of the Holy Quran is now being fulfilled. We see the fulfillment of this prophecy with our eyes and hear with our ears these great disasters that are now striking America. We see the great division, the great disagreement, disunity, and murder of men. We see the great amount of raping and murder of girls and women. There's great robbery and thieves going on every hour of the day and night. There are great storms and adverse weather conditions. There are minor earth tremors and hailstorms. There are signs and wonder signs being displayed in the heaven and earth, and on sea and land. There's unusual behavior of children. There's unusual love or dislike of children by mothers and fathers. Instruction of the process of childbirth. There is great disaster, starvation, and great destruction of health and life by the use of administering poison drugs, which is practiced upon those who are free and those who are bound. What had been known as America is threatened today with total destruction. America destroying herself in her effort to destroy her black slave. The water and air of America are being polluted by chemical use. America's Scientists Award conducts dreadful experiments on how best to kill human beings by the millions and wipe out life of a whole continent. These are the days of fulfillment of prophecy of not one, but in many disasters. But in all of these preparation of destruction of human life by the devil, Allah God too has planned to save his people. Allah God has claimed over the black slave as being his people. And the white slaveholders is angry because of the loss of the black slave by the virtue of this claim. Allah God comes to take the black slave away from his enemy, white slaveholders, and join the black slave into his own kind again. The white slaveholders hate this, but Allah God has that power to force the enemy, white slaveholders, to submit to his will. It is the will of Allah God The enemy white slaveholders let these black slaves go. Allah God promised concerning the white slaveholders and the black slave. The Bible, Isaiah 43, verse 6. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my son from afar, and my daughter from the end of the earth. America, since Allah God has now claimed the black slave, giving them the truth. Allah God has called the black slave, who have helped the black man to accept this truth by his name. The black slave who have accepted the truth of his greatness and being one of the righteous nation of his kind belong to Allah God. Books must be fulfilled, wherein is prophesied that he will claim them to be his own elect at such time as the destruction of America. For Allah God has not chosen some of the people of America, the black slave, to be his people, there will not have been any flesh saved from America. The Bible, Mark 13:20, teach us, except that the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh will be saved, but for the elect's sake, whom he has chosen, he has shortened the days. The black slave must know that this is the time of the judgment of both the white slaveholders and the black slave. The black slave must learn to know his place in the judgment. The place of the black slave is with Allah, God, and his own black people. The black slave had been deprived of knowledge of his God and his own black people. Allah, God, has come and brought the black slave the truth. The black slave refused to accept the truth. He will be destroyed for willingly and knowingly. Rejecting the truth when the truth have come in its midst. Disaster, disaster in the country of America. No secret can remain hidden, for the chastisement of Allah God will not let you hide. As one writer prophesies in the Bible, Isaiah 18, verse 1, whom to the land shallow it rings. This prophecy referred to America, which have a cloud of planes shadowing the skies over America almost daily. Now, can America exist? The coming of this white man to the Western hemisphere was for the purpose of expansion away from his brethren in Europe. See, Europe was divinely given to the white race as a home when it was driven out of Arabia 6,000 years ago to abide there on that continent until the days of reckoning comes to them. These are the days of reckoning for the white race as the religious scholars and scientists agree. But because of their nature, evil, they cannot help doing evil things against the righteous. They make war against the righteous, the black man, to prevent him from accepting righteousness and enduring the righteousness. Today, the black man in America is a prey to the strong, powerful hands of his enemy, children of their slave masters. For 400 years, slave masters have mistreated the slave. Now, in the days of their redemption, they are doing everything possible to deceive them from accepting their starvation that Allah now offers to the black man of America. So strong is Allah's love for us that he now desires nothing but a total destruction of America. They hate me with a bloody hatred, and they tried to kill me for teaching the truth to my people. They do not want this black man of America to enjoy freedom, justice, and equality. Look what they did to Martin Luther King, a man who was trying to be their brother, a man who probably taught that he did not want to draw the white man's blood. He said, if there was any blood to be spilled, let it be the black man's blood. His words came true, poor man. He was without the knowledge of self, his God, and religion, and so fear of his 400-year-old enemy that he could never get starvation from his people from their enemy. America had been blessed ever since the father came across the Atlantic out of the confines of Europe until this day. Now, for evil done to a slave, God threatened her with total destruction. America and Germany are the most evil of the right race. These two governments have been blessed, but they have not shown any worthwhile respect to Allah for his blessing. America calls the world to be upset today. Allah calls people out of all nations of the earth to come to America. They came seeking the heaven heard, but those who came was evil too. As the Revelation language teach us, we see Revelation 18, verse 2. He cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, America, the great is fallen, and it become the habitation of devils, and the hold every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful birds. There is no people nor country on earth who will feel this prophecy better than America and her people. He had become a house filled with evil practice, and every member of the nation taking part. Yet she had been blessed with a great harvest of food, which is enough to feed the nation of earth. With her great advancement into the heights of her mechanical knowledge, with her great wealth and silver and gold that enabled her once upon a time to command the value of silver and gold of the world. But as it is written, all of this growing up of wealth and power, the act of justice was laid at the root of this great tree of prosperity and authority of the nation of the earth, to be used by the Holy One to put a stop to the evil practice and injustice to the righteous. America has prospered from the labor of her black slave. He pays the black man high wages and salaries and then take them back from him through the high cost of living. His high cost of living or trying to live according to the way the white man lives keeps this black man down. And when he has inquired education of the white man, but is unable to complete with the white man, he becomes dissatisfied to the degree of creating trouble to find a way to self-prosperity against the will of the white man, which is to keep the black man in a condition of poverty want, disregard as equal human beings. Yet, while the white man teaches that all human beings are created accordingly, at the same time, he robbed this black man of a chance to be the equal of other human beings. Can America exist with all of her evil doing against this black man, America, and its state of inequality with other human beings? The continuous existence of America and the way of governments and power over people other than her own depends on the wage she will continue to treat her one slave, the black people of America, due to the prophecy of the Bible from Moses to Jesus and Muhammad. The prophets saying of these prophets teach us that a coming showdown between Allah God and the slaveholders of his people, black America, must come to pass. The time has arrived of this prophecy, a defender coming to defend the prey, so-called nigger, who is held in bondage by the white slaveholders, who have and are still mistreating the prey to the extent that the world is in sympathy with the prey for justice. Now it is prophesied that a just ruler will come, and he have come to set up a rule or kingdom under laws of justice for a people who have lived under a law of injustice by unjust rulers. This must be fulfilled. If the next government for the people, university is going to be under such a glorious rule of freedom, justice, and equality. It is natural that the old ruler will oppose a new ruler coming to remove him and his authorities to rule the people. He will fight to keep his place and authorities over the people. This is why Allah threatened his opponents with the final declaration war that would end the opponent's opposition to his laws of righteousness, and have been writing for many years of the coming doom of the world of Christianity, mainly America, who is the root and the cause of this present judgment of America. That she has treated the so-called nigger, the black people of America, for 400 years. The very hour in which I'm writing, America is still mistreating her one slave with the worst kind of treatment ever according to human beings. America pressed the way of her father mistreatment of American so-called under what she called a law of freedom. But this freedom is only words, not in practice. Slave master children, blood heart, and a way of thinking towards the one slave is the worst as their fathers. They find it so free to beat and kill the one slave, so-called Negro, at will, that they will continue this practice of mistreating and murdering the slave day and night because there is no law of justice for the black man of America who is the property of their fathers of America rights citizens. America never think in terms of being equally punished for the wrong done to a so-called Negro. The Bible parable of Balaam riding that donkey must be remembered. When angels went to settle their unjust mistreatment of the donkey by Balaam, angel found Balaam still beaten and forcing the donkey to carry him right in his presence of the visiting angels, who was carrying a sword to bring about the justice between the two. It's almost impossible to say that America can exist. If America is to exist, America ruling power, it will make prophets of the Bible, even the Holy Quran prophesies other than the truth. It's impossible to make them outliers who wrote the doom of a race that will come at a certain time, and that certain time is now known. The time can be prolonged if the Messiah that the world had been looking for to come for 2,000 years, desire, for he does what he please. This does not mean that he will change the idea of the doom and destruction of America. But if he pleased, he could extend her time. And she had done almost a marvelous thing, like submitting to the righteousness taught and delivered to a mentally dead slave, the so-called Negro. This is the only way America can exist, by bowing submission to the will of God taught by his messengers. Time that we are now in is a time of the anger of God against the evildoers. It is a time that the God of righteousness rejoices to repay the evildoers for their doing, and to repay the righteous for the righteousness. Therefore, to curb this set day of doom demand for the doing of righteous, which by nature was not put in the right ways. But they may yet be smart enough to bow and to put a stay to the execution for a few days longer, not by intermixing with a slave to enjoy it as long as they are blind, deaf, and dumb, and do not understand. This act only hastens their doom, while the foolish, blind, deaf, dumb, so-called do not even know that this is the time that he is being blind, deaf, and dumb to his slaughter. There is no such thing that evil rule peace. Also the wicked, according to the prophet Jeremiah and Isaiah, are the ones who have destroyed the peace from amongst men. My advice to the white man is to make haste. Get in a hurry if you want to live. Bow and submit to that great truth and righteousness, the will of Allah. Will be the end of the war. See, many of you may think that if America ends the war in Asia, this will bring peace and prosperity to the people of America. Perhaps someday there may be a lull in a war, but not now. If America and Asia can find a way to bring about peace of the war between each other, this will not mean that peace and prosperity is assured, not at this time. There's still this Cold War between America and Russia and other parts of Europe to be reckoned with. See, Europe will become a dreaded spot when America leaves Asia. It is true, as the prophet has predicted, that America must come out of Asia or be thrown out. Each, America and Russia, the two most powerful war factors of the world, is seeking to maintain their rule over the nation of Earth, even to conquer outer space. This will not last long, and they travel investigations to space. Allah God is permitting them to peep into his great unequal creation of power and might, the heaven and earth. Holy Quran teach that when Allah God gets ready to destroy people, he opens the door of heaven to them. He gives them a peep to his great wisdom and secret. But this does not mean that this adds power to enemy to be able to war against the Creator. Reason for all of this is due to the fact that Allah God is setting up a kingdom of righteousness freedom, justice, and equality. Black brothers do not look for high paying jobs, drawing a big roll of money after a war, unless it's with the help of Allah. God, you prepared this for yourself, which I advise you to do. The most dreadful divine judgment that have ever been witnessed by man are now coming on America. America is in a divine target because she could have better herself in the divine eyes of Allah, God, who came in the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. But America did not and will not better herself, as it is written, prophesied concerning ancient Babylon and Egypt, who have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Jeremiah 51, verse 9, because she was not willing to do justice by her captive Jews from Jerusalem. So it was with Pharaoh when Allah Jehovah went after Egypt. The Bible Exodus, Pharaoh refused to give justice to Israel and made war against Allah Jehovah and his prophet Moses to prevent Israel from going free of Pharaoh's enslavement of them. The war, America cannot win the victory. It's impossible for America to be the victorious in this universal war because of divine intervention against her, although she have enough deadly materials manufactured to try to win. Can she win against Allah God? She boasts of her materials being able to destroy the people of Earth 30 times. If she was left free to use the materials, maybe America could win. But divine die was set against her long before she ever became America. She would try and boast of her idea of mind to deceive her black slave, but she would deceive herself and them. America made manifest by Almighty God and the person of Master Fala Muhammad, whom praise are due forever, that she's a total deadly enemy against her one slaves. For many years I have written that America's greatest sin is an evil done to her black slave. Allah God intends to repay her for what she has done. She deceived the black slave right at the point of total destruction. She tried to rule the so-called Negrian with false and temporary promise by offering him high political jobs to keep him from turning his attention to self and kind. The black politician could and should use his political knowledge to benefit self and kind. White America isolated the messenger of God from their minds with these false promises and make them to hate the messenger of God and to work against him. All the messenger of God is working for the interests of the black slaves. The eyes and ears of Allah God are open, looking and listening to their actions. It is not necessary for Allah God to use mechanical devices. Allah God is physically will, and he has will, physical eyes and ears. He is capable of seeing and hearing everything we do and say. He has power to defeat us and our plans which are against his plans. The American slaveholders want to deceive the so-called men into believing that Allah God is not paying attention to them. The white man wants them to believe that he is the God that they should pay attention to. I warn my people who believe in the idea that the white man is the God that they should pay attention to, you will come up the losers. Allah God is backing me up in the work he has given me to do. And the work he has given me to do is for your own black starvation. If you think that you have starvation with the white man, then go ahead with him. I'm not here to force you against your own will, but I want you to know that if you are looking to white America for your starvation, you are headed with them to your and their destruction. There is no hope for America to win the war. There is no hope for the black man in the future of America. For America has no future for itself. She will not be able to win the war. The scientists and scholars know that America cannot win. It is not just I alone saying this. The scholars and scientists would tell us America cannot win. We know by divine prophecy that America cannot win. If it was just Russia, China, Vietnam, and Korea using their judgment on how best to destroy each other, maybe America win. For she have as much as they have in war, material, scientific, preparation. America is capable of going out of the atmosphere of the earth to fight them from there, but she will not be able to go out of the atmosphere of the earth and destroy the black man of the earth. It's almost a mistake that one should believe in America's ability to build a way station in the air on the moon, but she will not be able to use it against us. The divine plan is set to destroy her. We have many things out there in space that can be brought into action against America or any other nation today, for Allah, God, is the greatest. The mother plane. The mother plane was made to destroy this world of evil and to show the wisdom and mighty power of God, who came to destroy an old world and set up a new world. The nature of a new world is righteousness. The nature of a new world cannot be righteousness as long as unrighteousness is in its midst. Same type of plane was used by the original God to put mountains on this planet. Allah, God, who came in the person of Master Fly Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, is wiser than any God before him. As the Bible and Holy Quran teach us, he taught me that this plane will be used to raise mountains on this planet Earth. The mountains that he will put on this earth will not be very high. He will raise these mountains to a height of 1 mile over the United States of America. This reminds us of the prophet prediction of this time of destruction of the old world and the bringing in of a new world. Behold, the Lord makes the earth empty and makes it waste and turn it upside down and scatter abroad the inhabitants thereof. Isaiah 24, verse 1. The mother plane is like a new human-made planet. Now, the mother plane goes to Earth gravity 6 months out of the year, 40 miles to travel to this Earth gravity. When it needs all its ingredients, it can produce its own power. See, the white man knows that this is not a plane to be played with, because other planes come out of the great motherships. Let's go. There are planes in various nations today, but this is the mother of them all. Why? Because this type of plane was used before the making of this world. Why should God make such a sign of his power to destroy a nation? Because this is the final destruction of that people who oppose God and his purpose and aim for justice and righteousness. See, the right race is not a people who was made righteous and then turned to unrighteousness. It was made unrighteous by the false God. Allah, God, who came in the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, taught me that this plane is capable of reaching a height of 40 miles above the earth. His words could have been a sign meaning 40 years in which the plane will go into action, and not referring actually to 40 miles. Allah, God, does not speak one word that does not have a meaning. Every word that he speaks has a meaning. The mother plane, according to what had been strived by the devil scientists, is capable of not only staying up for a long period of time, but also capable of lowering the scientists. You see, they want to attack and destroy it, but if a plane did get close enough to attempt to carry out this purpose, it would be destroyed instead. So the white man had learned that this is not a plane to be played with. See, planes come out of the mother planes. In the 1930s, the Canadian newspaper reported that they saw the wheel, the mother plane, came down out of the sky. They admitted that it looks like a great city and that something came down from it. It appears to be a tube. But that tube-like thing went back up again. Allah, God, came in the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, taught me that after 6 months to a year, the mother plane come into gravity of the earth. It takes on oxygen and hydrogen in order to prevent it to stay out of earth gravity until it needs refueling again. Ezekiel prophecy of the wheel. Ezekiel saw the mother plane in a vision. According to the Bible, he looked up and saw this plane. Ezekiel 1:16. He called it a wheel because it was like a wheel. Plane that is wheel shaped can turn in any direction at any time. He admitted that the plane was so high that it looks dreadful. And he cried out, O will. Ezekiel 10:13. Ezekiel saw great works going on in the will, and four living creatures. And the work was as it were a will in the middle of a will. Ezekiel 1:16. And when the living creatures went, the will went with them. And when the living creatures was lifted up from the earth, the will was lifted up. Ezekiel 1:19. The power of the lifting up of the four creatures was in the will. The four creatures represent the four colors of the original people of the earth. There are five great powers of the nation of the earth. These five great powers are the black, brown, yellow, red, and white of the four original powers. The red is not an equal power. The vision shows the four creatures being lifted up from the wheel. And when the wheel was lifted up, they was lifted up. And when the wheel stood, they stood. This means that they waited upon the movement of the wheel. Ezekiel's vision concerning the wheel, he says they heard the voice of one tell the others to take hold of fire, to scatter over the cities. This means bombs now. It could mean fire too, however. The plan is to drop bombs which will automatically be timed to boil quickly to a position of 1 mile below the surface of the earth where there are time to explore. Allah has taught me that these bombs are not to be dropped into the water. They are to be dropped only on the cities. It will be the work of the will. The will is the power of the four creatures, named the four colors of the black man, the black, brown, yellow, and red. The red Indians is the benefit also for the judgment of the world. We must remember that God comes to separate from the righteous that which is hindering the righteous from making progress, destroy the effect or the poison of that which has opposed the righteous. The effect of the poison will be fully destroyed at the destruction of the source of the poison which has poisoned the righteous. It's like one being bitten by a rattlesnake. Quickly, medication is administered in order to minimize the effect of the poison upon flesh and blood until a complete cure is effected and the patient is well again. It is useless to try to ignore Ezekiel's vision of the will for the make and destruction works. For the will was foretold before it came to pass. The disbelievers believe that which he see present, and that which is prophesied to come. This is why he is the losers and take the course to hell, because he disbelieved in that which is prophesied to come about in a particular day. This is why the enemy is trying to do today with the black man. The enemy is trying to fascinate him with sport and play, and they're doing the evil to keep him from going to the God who is present. You never thought the day would come when you see your wife, mother, an old grave-headed woman walking down the streets today, half nude. See, a few years ago, they would not have dared to come out into the public like that. But now they do so because the devil has put his approval on this kind of entire. The desire to please the devil, they do whatever the devil bid them to do. The devil desired to take this black man with him to his doom. Let us not classify the prophet as liars and ignore the prophecy. We may cause ourselves destruction through belief in the devil instead of the belief in the God of righteousness. There is no equal of the mother plane. It's the reason why she is called the mother plane. The mother plane is made for the purpose of destroying the present world. She has no equal. Do not be surprised at the make of this plane, since it is from the God who made the universe of floating planets, stars which are supported only by the power of Allah and their rotations and their orbits. Allah God became the personal master of Allah Muhammad, whom praise are due forever, taught me that the mother plane is a little human-made planet. It's not simple for Allah God to make a new planet if he wants to. The mother plane is capable of staying out of the Earth's gravity for a whole year. She's capable of producing her own oxygen and hydrogen, as any other planet is able to do. The mother plane carrying the same type of bombs on her that our black scientists dropped on the planet Earth to bring up mountains out of the earth after the planet Earth was created. So the knowledge how to do this had not been given to the world right race, nor will they ever get this kind of knowledge. Knowledge of the world is limited. The devil will get this kind of knowledge. We could just say that we are goers. Ever they are not able to attain this kind of knowledge. Now, what does a 6-day-old baby right race look like trying to compete with a 6-year-old child? Black nation. For a 6-year-old child can run all out in the yard and play. He can eat solid food. The power of the 6-day-old baby is limited. The knowledge and power of this world life white race is limited. The world of the white man was made from what he found and what he has seen and learned from the work. Original black man. The white race is far from being able to equal the power and wisdom of the original black man. The mother plane in her work is displayed. The power of the mightiest God, Master Fala Muhammad, whom praise are due forever. Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, is the wisest and best knower. He is the mightiest of them all. Old Will said the prophet Ezekiel. She was so high up in the sky that she looks dreadful. She is capable of staying away from you, who plans the destruction of her. She is capable of confusing you, who will try to reach her with your means of destruction. There are scientists on the mother plane who knows what you are thinking about before the thought materialized. Holy Quran, Surah 50, verse 16. Therefore, it is impossible to try to attack the mother plane. She can attack you, but you cannot attack her.